Well, I'm originally from Monroe, Louisiana, and it's the northeast part of Louisiana, rich in hunting and especially waterfowl hunting. My father loved to duck hunt, and I went with him several times when I was little. And then my cousin took me hunting from about 12 to 16 years old. And from then I was hooked. Every day during the season I'd go duck hunting. And it was something that's just part of me growing up. And I lost touch with that for a while after moving to Nashville. So it's good to get back into it. Well, when I was little, I really knew that I wanted to be a musician. My father played guitar, and I just was drawn in by it. He would play old records by Elvis and the Statler Brothers and John Denver, and things like that really interested me. I just loved music, I loved harmony. I wanted to play guitar. So he taught me some chords, and from then on I just always picked it up. And when I got old enough to be in band, it's about 6th grade, I wanted to play saxophone. So we didn't get a saxophone starting out, we got a clarinet, which is not quite a sax, but hey, you know, it's close. So luckily, once I really showed that I was interested in playing, in band, Dad got me a saxophone. So from then on out, I was a band guy. I played in band. And then my dad took me to guitar lessons. And I played guitar and never knew that I played bass. I just played guitar. I never knew that I could do it until at church I was asked one day, hey, we need a bass player. So I picked up the bass, and from then on out I was like, hey, this is kind of my thing. So I never put down the guitar or the saxophone, but I always played bass guitar as my primary instrument. I played in bands in high school. I played in college. I would play out in clubs. So I really got introduced to music at a very early age. And I was lucky that my father and my mother really supported me in music. So I had everything I needed as a support system to do what I wanted to do. And strangely enough, I knew that I wanted to play music when I would be in the car with my cousin going to the duck blind, and we'd be listening to the radio, and I put the two together. And it was a country station, of course. So I'd listen to the music, and I would just envision myself being in Nashville one day. And I have no idea where that came from, but I knew I wanted to do it, and by golly, I did it. Well, Luke himself is a very avid hunter. He's a part of many different things. He's sponsored by Cabela's on tour. He's got lots of different places to hunt, which he is very gracious in letting me and my family go from time to time. And in fact, the neat thing about this particular hunt that we did was I had a gig I had to do tonight. And Luke found out that I was actually duck hunting, so he was like, man, just stay and go ahead and duck hunt, it's cool. It was an acoustic gig, so it wasn't something big, but that shows you how cool he is of being a really cool hunter, knowing the importance of being out there and doing something that you really love that you don't get to do often. We tour all the time, but we don't get to hunt all the time. So this is a very cool thing to get to do.
I've been hunting with Kent Woodrow and Mike Johnson for several years up there, and when they call you on the phone and tell you that the ducks are here, there's no doubt in my mind that it's time to get my gun, shells, my gear, and pack up in that truck and hit the road and get there as quick as I can.
One of the really interesting things about this duck hunt that I've never experienced before was we actually had breakfast in the boat. And Kent, he said, hey man, we're gonna have some sausages and some eggs, and I'm sitting there thinking he's joking. No, he pulls out a skillet, propane burner, gets to town. So, you know, that's the way to begin a duck hunt, I can tell you that.
I heard you say Catahoula. We were going to go to Catahoula. Can't go wrong.
Sausage, egg, and cheese.
You want one, buddy? For me personally, duck hunting is very special. It's not just about being an opportunity to shoot ducks, but it's the camaraderie, it's the breakfast in the boat, it's being out there joking with one another when somebody misses. But a big part of duck hunting to me is the dog work. And not having a dog on a duck hunt, it's not being out there without a call. Kent's dog, Watson, you know, it was cold. That dog didn't care how cold it was. He was hitting that frozen water. He'd bust out through there and he was picking those ducks up and back to the boat. Even though he was shaking, those eyes were glued to the sky looking for the next one to fall. I've known James for a very long time. We've had the opportunity to share hunting camp together, from deer hunting to duck hunting. Every time we get together, it's his career. It's not about that, it's about having a good time, and we both love to cook. And we're always swapping recipes, and he's telling me how to make a really good duck gumbo, and I'm showing him how to do some bacon wrapped cream cheese duck breast. James is a great guy. What he does professionally just doesn't reflect when you're around him, but it's always fun to be in camp. We have a great time. This duck hunt, we laughed, especially he had that old humpback Browning shotgun, and we would talk about it, and he was telling me about the history when he got it. But the funny thing was, on that hunt, we started, ducks were boiling in, and next thing I know, James is popping off a shot, and then I'd hear something over there, and he wasn't able to get but one shot off. And the next thing I know, he'd get mad and be pulling that action back, and we finally just started calling him old single shot.
There's nothing like seeing ducks working and cupping those wings and coming down after you're calling for them. I know a lot of people who really love the duck hunt, but I've never met people that love the duck hunt like these guys. I've never seen people so passionate. They duck hunt every single day. They will do whatever it takes to get on the ducks. If they're sitting there and ducks are not moving the way they want them to, they're gonna pick up, they're gonna take all those decoys and move them wherever the ducks are. It takes some effort, but that means that these guys love what they do. Every single day of the week, they do it during duck season. It's pretty awesome. I'm a member of the NWTF because I have two boys, and I really do love the fact that they want my two boys to enjoy the same thing that I enjoy, my passion for hunting. And I know for a fact the NWTF is out there fighting to ensure that my two boys get the exact same opportunity to do the things that I love: hunt, fish, and shoot.
When we walk through a stand of hardwood trees, we don't count the number of species we hear. The wild symphony stirs our souls. When we pull the trigger, it's not the end of a hunt, it's the beginning of a memory. For us, hunting isn't a hobby, it's a way of life. The outdoors isn't just what's on the other side of the glass, it's where we feel most alive. We are hunters, conservationists, volunteers. We are the National Wild Turkey Federation. Our commitment for the coming decade? Raise $1.2 billion to conserve or enhance over 4 million acres of critical wildlife habitat. Recruit at least 1.5 million hunters, and open access to 500,000 additional acres for hunting, shooting, and outdoor enjoyment. Our success depends on partnerships, working together on several fronts today to build a solid foundation for conservation in the future. The best way to stop the decline in hunting participation is to focus efforts on the recruitment, retention, and reactivation of new or former hunters. Our hunting heritage programs are the perfect vehicle to recruit hunters of all ages, genders, and abilities. The NWTF has never wavered in its mission to preserve our hunting traditions. We're committed to pro-hunting programs, policies, and even have our own Hunting Heritage Center serving as a center of excellence to help create the next generation of conservation leaders. Science is the base of sound decision-making, especially when it comes to wildlife and habitat management. We back the most cutting-edge wild turkey and upland wildlife research that benefits multiple species and those who enjoy them. We're thinking big when it comes to saving habitat. We've divided the country in 6 areas we call America's Big 6 of wildlife conservation, focusing our efforts to keep forests healthy, water clean, and stop critical habitat loss. While there are many important topics discussed by lawmakers, we focus our efforts and serve as a trusted partner on issues related to wildlife, active habitat management, and sustainable land use. When it comes to saving critical habitat and saving our hunting heritage, saving what matters most to all of us, the NWTF is prepared to invest its time, resources, and elbow grease to ensure they're around for tomorrow and forever.
Today was pretty awesome because the activity was amazing. We had ducks flying at times just from all over the place. You had just high flying ducks swooping in, you had ducks coming from the right, from the left, straight at you. And then to the right of us in a field, there were just thousands and thousands of snow geese, and they're just making racket. The activity was amazing. It's just, you know, you have a lull for maybe 5 minutes of nothing happening, then all of a sudden it's just mayhem. So awesome.
You know, we weren't doing a lot of high ball calling or loud calling. We were just mainly quacks, feed calls, a little bit of greeting call. If you listen to live ducks in the timber, there's not a lot of loud calling, so we kind of toned it back. And the great thing, you had some great callers there, and we were all working off of each other to sound like a big group of ducks in that timber feeding.